Here in this class we are going to discuss different problems from quadratic, which are usually your doubts from the quadratic. Okay, the let us look at this problem. Okay, a quadratic equation p of x is equals to 0. So p of x is a quadratic equation having coefficient of x square unity. Coefficient of x square unity, unity means 1. Okay, is such that quadratic equation is such that p of x is equals to 0, as well p of x is equals to 0 have a common root. These two are having a common root. Then we need to think about p of 0 into p of 1. Okay, and these are our options. Okay, either it is greater than 0 or less than 0 or equals to 0. It is in the sense the product of p of 0 into p of 1. Okay, right, first of all, yeah, p of x is equals to 0 is a quadratic with the coefficient of x square unity. So for that, let p of x is equals to, as they said, coefficient of x square unity, so 1 into x square plus bx plus c. Okay, p of x is 1 into x square plus bx plus c, and as they mentioned, this p of x is equals to 0. P of x is equals to 0 have a common root. See, as they said, these two have a common root. Let alpha be the common root. Okay, let p of x is this equation as well. You just consider that p of x is equals to 0. P of x is equals to 0 have a common root alpha. Since alpha is a common root, what will happen? So root in the sense what? If you replace that alpha in the place of x, it will satisfy. So then what will happen? Since alpha is a common root, then p of alpha is equals to 0 and p of alpha is equals to 0 as per the problem. But since p of alpha is equals to 0, you just replace this p of alpha with 0. Okay, I am using this first one in the second one. Then it becomes like this: p of 0 is equals to 0. Is it clear? Okay, from the first one, p of alpha is 0. So use it in the second one. Replace this p of alpha with 0. And now p of 0 is equals to 0. What you say about p of 0? See, p of 0 means, this, since it is p of x, you just replace x with 0, you will get c. So that indicates that p of c is equals to 0. Since we are replacing p of 0 as c, and p of c is equals to 0. And since p of c is equals to 0, what is p of c? Replacing c in this p of x. So when you replace c in that p of x, okay, 1 into c square is c square plus bx, b into c plus bc plus c is equals to 0. That is p of c and that is 0 as given. So c square plus bc plus c is equals to 0. I will read it like this: c into c plus b plus 1 is equals to 0. And now at the end, this c is simply p of 0. Is it right? P of 0 is c itself. And that c plus b plus 1 is just p of 1. Observe it. This is p of x, right? When you replace x with 1, you will get that 1 plus b plus c. So this c plus b plus 1 is p of 1. So p of 0 is c, p of 1 is c plus b plus 1. So from this it is very clear that p of 0 into p of 1 is equals to 0. At the end, as they ask us p of 0 into p of 1, our answer is equals to 0. Okay, problem is simple but little bit logical. Have a look. Number of values of k for which this quadratic equation has integral roots. We need to think about the values of k for which this quadratic equation has integral roots. Let us look at this equation first. When we observe this equation, the denominator is square root of 2013 minus x. Okay, see, this is definable only if the denominator is non-zero. If the denominator is 0, then we won't consider that as a real value. Okay, and that's why this expression is defined only if the denominator is not 0, and if the denominator is non-zero, since square root is involved, for sure it is positive, and since it is positive and it is non-zero, you just directly send it that side. So from there what we conclude is x minus k into x minus 2012 plus 1 is equals to 0, and as I said, the denominator never be 0, so x not equals to 2013. Whenever the denominator is 0, if x is 2013, so you need to fix that x is not equals to 2013 so that the denominator is non-zero, right? So x minus k into x minus 2012 plus 1 is equals to 0, so x minus k into x minus 2012 is equals to minus 1. Okay, see, as they said, this equation has integral roots. Since it has integral roots, x is an integer because it has an integral root, right? So you need to treat that x as integer. Okay, as well we are going to find integral values of k. So x minus k into x minus 2012 is minus 1. This minus 1 can be written as 1 into minus 1 or minus 1 into 1 because they are integers. Okay, so you need to write minus 1 as a product of two integers, then these two are the only possibilities. Then in such a case, so if you consider 1 and minus 1, see, x minus k is equals to 1 and x minus 2012 is equals to minus 1 is one possibility. Where if you consider minus 1 and 1, then that x minus k is equals to minus 1 and x minus 2012 is equals to 1. In this case, what is x? X is equals to 2011. It's very clear, right? Whereas in this case, x is equals to 2013. But as I said, x is not equals to 2013, so this case is neglected one. Then pay attention on this case. Since x is 2011, then what you say about the value of k? Replace x 2011 here. Then you will get that k is equals to 2010. Finally, as per the problem, since it has integral roots and we are searching for the integral values of k, the value of k is 2010 and there is only one value for k. Since the question is asking us to find the number of values of k, our answer is 1. Okay, have a look. So let us look at the problem. If the roots of the equation, just observe that this is the equation. See, this is the equation and this equation has non-real roots. We need to find out about this particular value, whether it is less than 0, greater than 0 or is equals to 0. See, first of all, observe the equation. See, when you observe the equation is this. Its x square term is ax square and x term is bx, whereas the constant c, instead of that we have this complete expression. So this complete expression is simply a1 square plus b1 square plus c1 square minus a1 b1 minus b1 c1 minus c1 a1. I think we all know the way of expressing it. We will write it like this: a1 minus b1 square plus b1 minus c1 square plus c1 minus a1 whole square, and the whole thing is divided by 2 is equals to 0. This is the given quadratic equation. As they said, this equation has non-real roots. Okay, right? And for my discussion, I am just taking this total expression as some p of x or f of x, anything. P of x is equals to this expression. See, when you replace x with 0, what will happen? Take x is equals to 0. If you take x is equals to 0, p of 0 is equals to, this is 0, this is 0, and p of 0 is simply this, half of a1 minus b1 square plus b1 minus c1 square plus c1 minus a1 square. When you observe it, sum of three perfect squares divided by 2 is always greater than 0. So P of 0 is greater than 0. Is it clear? Now P of 0 is greater than 0 and P of x is quadratic, as well as P of x has non-real roots. Just think about all these things. Since P of x has non-real roots, so since P of x has non-real roots, its discriminant is less than 0, its graph is either completely above x-axis or completely below x-axis. See, we need to decide which one, either above x-axis or below x-axis. To decide that, we are using this P of 0 greater than 0. So when you take x-axis, somewhere you have 0, right? Okay, at this point 0, the graph is above x-axis. As from this statement, P of x is always positive or always negative. Since this P of 0 is positive, this may be the rough sketch. The graph is always above the x-axis. If this is the rough sketch, from there we will conclude that therefore P of x is greater than 0 for all x. Since P of 0 is positive, P of x is positive for all x. And since P of x is positive for all x, you just think about P of 1, which is also clearly greater than 0, right? P of 1 greater than 0. Now what is P of 1? That's what I need. Okay, not only P of 1, since they mentioned that's 2 of a minus b, right? So you just consider not P of 1, you just take P of minus 1. For every value of x, P of x is positive, right? You just think about P of minus 1. Take x is equals to minus 1. If you take x is equals to minus 1, what will happen? I will write directly. A into minus 1 square is A, minus, here we are taking minus 1, right? B into minus 1 is minus B, okay? Plus this total expression. Since x is not involved, you need to take the constant just as it is, like this. Plus half of, see, a1 minus b1 square plus b1 minus c1 square plus c1 minus a1 square is this particular sigma. See, half of sigma a1 minus b1 square greater than 0. So this is simply the given statement. When you multiply everything with 2, 2 of a minus b plus sigma a1 minus b1 whole square is greater than 0, and at the end your answer for this problem is greater than 0. Is it clear? Once again I repeat for you. Just look at this particular quadratic equation. Take that expression as P of x. Here P of 0 is positive as well. This is quadratic and P of x has non-real roots. Since it has non-real roots, the graph is always above x-axis. Since it is always above x-axis, the expression P of x is positive for all x. Since it is positive for all x, you can take any value in the place of x. So that's why I took minus 1. So P of minus 1 greater than 0. So replace x with minus 1. So when you replace x with minus 1, you will get that a minus b plus half sigma a1 minus b1 whole square greater than 0. At the end, this particular required expression is positive. Okay, sorry, I need to identify greater than 0, right? Not less than 0. So this is your answer. Have a look.